Out 40 laps of distance here. IMCA Stock Cars making their debut here at Arizona Speedway 2019. Cody Center, or Les Knox, Donald Comstock, your front row. Green flags in the air. It's time to let her eat. IMCA Stock Cars here at Arizona Speedway. And Donald Comstock gets the early jump off of turn number 2. Has a big advantage right now as they're 3 wide behind him. Chaz Baca Jr. goes the outside of Les Knox and Steve Sabowski. Chaz Baca Jr. going to take over that second spot as Donald Comstock will lead lap number 1. That's going to be Baca, Steve Sabowski, and then they're side by side. About 4 rows deep right there as Cody Center and George Franzman start to race their way up through the field. Robert Werkmeister took his car off the racetrack before the green flag flew, so his Bomber Enduro, or early stock car race, is done as we got one car spinning around. That's the 8X of J.C. Parmalee, guy who was quick during qualifying. No caution, though, as he gets the car pointed back in the right direction, stays on the racetrack right now, kind of sliding around out there, trying to see what he has in the tires, see if he has any goodies. One car is off the track right now. That is Mike Nance in the 62N. So Mike Nance brings his car to the pits. It's still Comstock leading Chaz Baca Jr. in second, starting to reel in that 28 just a little bit. The 97 machine got a little squirrely off of turn number 2 of John Parmalee. Almost collected Joey McCullough. He backed out the throttle, allowed George Franzman to pass him for that 4th spot, as McCullough right now in 5th. But here comes Cody Center. Couple cars get together in turn at number 2, and they are stuck right there. First yellow flag will fly here in lap number 4. Green flag is back in the air. We're back underway. And Donald Comstock not quite able to clear cars like it was on that first restart as the 97 machine to John Parmalee works down his inside. They're still side by side off of 2. You got George Franzman and Chaz Baca Jr. side by side as well. Chaz Baca Jr. thought about making it 3 wide, at least tried to. Car got a little squirrely up there on the top side as Comstock, he gets way loose off of turn number 4. Almost collects Chaz Baca Jr. Franzman and Parmalee end up taking the top 2 spots, and here comes Franzman now down the inside of Parmalee. They battle side by side, going to drag race down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, it's Parmalee up top, Franzman down low, Baca and Comstock, they're still side by side battling for that 3rd position, but the battle is tight for that race lead. Parmalee leads that lap over Franzman. George Franzman able to clear John Parmalee off of turn number 2. He'll be your new race leader. As he heads into turn number 3. Parmalee giving a good run there on the top side of the racetrack. Chaz Baca Jr. used that top side. He worked his way around Donald Comstock. Here comes Joey McCullough down the inside of the 28 machine of Comstock. As Comstock's car has lost a little bit of the handle that he had in those early laps. As Cody Center now looks to his inside. They go 3 wide there off of turn number 2. McCullough on the outside, Comstock in the middle, Center down low. Comstock and Center almost make contact. Now Comstock and McCullough. Hard contact going into turn number 3. That 28 did not turn at all. And collected Joey McCullough there in the 55. Yellow flag is out. So 6 laps down, 34 to go. Need to get into a little bit of a rhythm here as green flag flies once again. George Franzman, your race leader here at Arizona Speedway. And Joey McCullough goes around in turn number 1. Not quite sure what happened to him. Looks like he's going to be able to get the car refired. Well, not quite. This car just creeping down the racetrack. Now the yellow flag will fly for him. Green flag back in the air. And off of turn number 2, it is George Franzman, race leader, with the 97 machine of John Parmalee sneaking by Chaz Baca Jr. Chaz Baca Jr., though, has been living and dying by the top side of the racetrack. He's going to assault the top side once again. Chaz Baca Jr. working the top side of the track, pulls up side by side now with John Parmalee. This couple of cars spin around. David Gill and Joey McCullough once again bring out the yellow flag. So we got 1 lap in there. 7 are complete. Race their way up to the podium. Green flags in the air. 33 laps to go. And George Franzman will take a 4-car length advantage into turn number 3 over John Parmalee and Chaz Baca Jr., who goes to the top side once again, trying to work his way around that number 97 machine of Parmalee. They come off at turn number 4, still side by side for that second spot. Cody Center now is by himself in the 4th position. Steve Sabowski in 5th. So they're side by side behind him right now. Yellow flag, though, will fly. Once again, looks like some body parts came off the 119. I'm guessing no, that came off a black car, so some body parts down there in turn number 4 brings out the caution for debris. Looks like it was the 32 of Brody Center that came off of. So 32 laps are left. Green flag is back in the air. Franzman with a good restart that time. They go 3 wide behind him for that second spot. Now 3 wide for third. Cody Center, Steve Sabowski, and Chaz Baca Jr. battling out for turn 2. Baca up top. Sabowski in the middle, Cody Center down low. Also going to throw J.C. Parmalee in the mix as well as Larry Brigner. So those 5 drivers working off a turn number 4, battling third on back. J.C. Parmalee pulls up side by side with Cody Center, trying to sneak by him and also work down the inside of Steve Sabowski. They go 3 wide off of turn 2 again, battling for that 4th position. Give it to J.C. Parmalee in the 8X. Parmalee very fast earlier on during our qualifying session with a 22.102. He's the fastest qualifier for the Pure Sox, and here he is right now racing his way all the way up to that 4th spot after starting this 40-lap main event back in the inside of row at number 5 as Sabowski goes around. Yellow flag will fly. He'll get the car refired, and Cody Center going to bring his car down into the pits. So something up with the dollar machine. Not quite sure if we can see. Yeah, right rear flat on Cody Center's car. So we are a quarter of the way through this 40-lap pure stock main event, or stock car main event, should I say. And the green flag is back out. Keep an eye on Cody Center, see if he can race his way up through the field there, trying to chase down one of his big rivals there, George Franzman. They battle it out down the west side of things. The Center's already moved up about 4 spots as Franzman leads the field off at turn number 4. George Franzman is your race leader here as lap 11 is complete. Then it's still John Parmalee in second, trying to hold off the 61M of Chaz Baca Jr. with J.C. Parmalee right behind them in that 4th spot. Here comes Larry Brigner, though, trying to battle him. So top 5 breakaway, Donald Comstock. He's raced his way back up to the 6th position. Looks underneath Bud Marshall. Will sneak by him. That is battle for the 6th spot. It's behind them. See Cody Center now starting to reel in these drivers. He has Brody Center, Steve Sabowski, Les Knox right ahead of him. Good 3-car battle right now, shaping up for that 2nd position. It's still John Parmalee and Chaz Baca Jr. side by side in their turn number 3, but J.C. Parmalee right now starting to creep up into your picture off of turn number 4. He goes side by side with Chaz Baca, battling for that 3rd spot. It's J.C. Parmalee and John Parmalee down low. John Parmalee with a big wiggle off of turn number 2. This car washed up the racetrack just a smidge, allowed J.C. to sneak down his inside. They're going to drag race into turn 3. It's still going to be John Parmalee, though, the 97, hanging on to that position off of turn number 4. J.C. Parmalee down to his inside. J.C. still hanging on the inside, entering turn number 1 as John Parmalee gets a strong run, almost breaks loose off of turn 2, loses a lot of momentum. J.C. Parmalee sneaks by him, and here comes Chaz Baca Jr. back down the inside of John Parmalee. George Franzman works his way around Harlan Morehart. That is a lap car. Franzman takes him up to the outside. Morehart, this car pushed way up the racetrack, going into turn number 1, almost took out your race leader as yellow flag will fly for the 32 machine of Brody Center. Comes to a stop just outside of turn number 2 down the back chute. All right, so the field is set once again here. George Franzman, race leader, Chaz Baca Jr., J.C. Parmalee, Larry Brigner, John Parmalee, your new top 5. Green flags back in the air. 25 laps are left. Had our longest run of the afternoon that last time there with 5 laps, so that was pretty exciting stuff. See what we can do here. Cody Center right now, man on the mission. He has raced his way back up to the top 5, just got around Donald Comstock. They go 3 wide behind Comstock. It's Brigner, Marshall, and Knox going 3 wide off of turn number 4. Brigner up to the top side, Bud Marshall in the middle, Les Knox down low. There's still 3 wide going into turn number 1. Donald Comstock got a little squirrely going into turn number 1. Thought he was going to fall back to the clutches of this battle there as Steve Sabowski starting to peek his nose, making a 4-car battle. Up front still George Franzman, no change there, but it's John and J.C. Parmley side by side for second. J.C. on the top side, that white and pink number 8 car. John down low in that black and orange number 97. Chaz Baca Jr. behind him in 4th, but for how long? Because here comes Cody Center in the Dollar Machine. Cody Center trying to work his way up to the top 4 right now. Has to get by Chaz Baca Jr. in the 61M as David Gill. He takes his car off the racetrack. Got it way loose off of turn 2 that last time by. Just going to bring it into the pits. JC and John Parmley once again go side by side down the back straightaway with JC up on the top side. He is assaulting the top side of the racetrack, but it looks like the low line is the line that you want to be in as John Parmley, he is right there. Trying to sneak back by the number 8 machine of J.C. Parmley. George Franzman getting ready to catch up to some lap traffic. Has the 37 machine of Josh Sanchez and the 17 of Harlan Morehart right ahead of him. So they go into turn number 1. Still has about an 8-car length advantage over John Parmley now with J.C. Parmley in that 3rd spot. But here comes Chaz Baca Jr. down to his inside. Trying to reel him in. They're 2nd through 4th, running nose to tail right now, going into turn number 3. Sneaking by the lap car of Josh Sanchez. All 4 of those drivers. A little contact there between Cody Center and Chaz Baca Jr. Chaz Baca got on the binders hard going into turn number 2. Cody Center got right into the back of him. Both those cars continue on, though, as they get strung out single file. Your top 5 is George Franzman. He's 8 car lengths ahead of John Parmley. That's another 2 back to J.C. Parmley. 1 car length back to Chaz Baca Jr., who peeks down to the inside of J.C. That's Cody Center right now in 5th. 6th is going to be Donald Comstock. 7th is Larry Brigner. 8th, Bud Marshall. 9th is Les Knox. Steve Sabowski rounds out your top 10. Those 2 battles battling for that, those 2 drivers battling for that 9th spot. Terry Hetrick right now being scored in the 11th spot. 12th is Sanchez. "17 laps are left here in this 40-lap pure stock main event. George Franzman trying to get the big win here today for the stock cars. As Cody Center has another flat right rear on his car. See him coming past the start-finish line. He is going to spin around off of turn number 2. Yellow flag should fly for him. It does. JC down low, John up top. Green flag back in the air. We're back underway. Almost going 4 wide for the top spot. George Franzman, though, able to hang on with John Parmley now in 2nd. John Parmley going to use the top side of the racetrack. See if he can't work his way around the Franz here. They work off at turn number 4. It's Franzman, John Parmley, J.C. Parmley, Chaz Baca Jr., Donald Comstock back into the top 5. There you go. 3 wide behind him, though, for that 6th position. Bud Marshall, Steve Sabowski, and Les Knox. Cody Center trying to work his way back up through the field, up underneath Terry Hetrick right now. He's going to sneak past her. Still Franzman out front, able to hold off the nice machine of John Parmley as Chaz Baca Jr. sneaks by J.C. Parmley, back up into that 3rd position. Donald Comstock in 5th, Steve Sabowski 6th, 7th is Bud Marshall. Battle is for 8th. First side-by-side battle on the racetrack. Cody Center up underneath the 30 machine of Les Knox. And John Parmley starting to pick up some speed here. Going to look to the inside of Franzman into turn 1. John Parmley down the inside of George Franzman. They go side by side down the backstretch. Drag race into turn number 3. Give it to John Parmley, but did he overdrive the car going into turn number 3? He might have there as George Franzman going to try the crossover move now. So now Franzman's down the inside of the 97 machine of John Parmley, and they're side by side. J.C. Parmley and Chaz Baca Jr. for 3rd. Franzman back up to the point. But here comes John Parmley once again with a strong run off of turn number 2. Pulls it back with a half car length. Gets right up to the back bumper of the Franz. Might have made contact with him as they come off of turn number 4. It's Franzman, John Parmley, J.C. Parmley, Chaz Baca Jr., your top 4. And they have pulled away from 5th place Donald Comstock. Great racing action here for the top spot. Starting to heat up once again. John Parmley down the inside of George Franzman here with just 10 laps to go. Now John Parmley going to look to the top side of the racetrack, loses a lot of momentum to the 41 machine of Franzman. J.C. Parmley was able to pull right up down the inside of John. Couldn't quite do anything with him, though, as they worked their way off of turn number 4. Once again here, 9 laps to go. It's George Franzman, John, J.C. Parmley, Chaz Baca Jr., top 4. Racing past Sanchez right now, putting him another lap down. As the laps wind down, looks like it's going to be a 2-car race. Does John Parmley have anything left for the 41 machine of George Franzman? Franzman now starting to inch his way further and further ahead of the 97 machine of John Parmley as they work off of turn number 4 at the start-finish line. About 5 car lengths separates those top 2 drivers. Another 2 car lengths back to J.C. Parmley. 1 car length back to Chaz Baca Jr. as Cody Center and Steve Sabowski duking it out right there with the lap car. Sanchez in the mix, moves Cody Center up to 6. If he doesn't get a caution flag, looks like 5th is going to be the best that Cody Center can do. Here with just 6 laps left, George Franzman has pulled away big time on the 97 machine of John Parmley as Les Knox brings his car off the racetrack. See a lot of smoke coming out of that race car. So his afternoon is done. Here with just 5 laps to go. This pure stock main event. And the battle for second heats up there for a brief moment between JC and John Parmley. JC in that number 8, John the 97. They duke it out side by side off of turn number 4. Cody Center does work his way around the 28 machine of Comstock, so moves Center up to that 5th spot. Three laps to go for George Franzman as he crosses the start-finish line. He'll work his way into turn number 1. Has Sanchez right ahead of him, the lap car. Been off the pace all afternoon. We'll probably get around him here within the next few laps. Chaz Baca Jr. looks to the outside of J.C. Parmley for that 3rd spot going into turn number 3. Those 2 drivers battling out for 3rd as John Parmley has 2nd all to himself right now. Chaz Baca Jr. those trying to sneak down the inside of J.C. Parmley. Baca 40 laps here, getting ready to do 120 laps later on as the white flag will fly for Franzman. Well, it took a while to get going, but once it got going, it was George Franzman. Started this race back inside of row number 7, has raced his way up through the field to the lead and to a win. George Franzman wins to this afternoon's IMCA Stock Car main event. And George Franzman climbs out of the race car. The first IMCA Stock Car race here at Arizona Speedway in 2019. Well, George, I got a little giddy when I saw we were going IMCA rules here because I knew I'd see some of you guys come up from Canyon. You know, I used to announce you guys all the time, and here you are at Arizona Speedway. Familiar spot, though, Victory Lane.
Yeah, glad to get the first IMCA stock win here ever, and hopefully there'll be many more to come. And it's glad to hear you back up in the booth again.
Yeah, thanks for that. So this race, I mean, took a while to get going. Once it got going, man, you started inside row number 7, just had those laps consistent. You had a little bit of battle right there with Parmley coming down to about 10 to go, but you were able to pull away.
Yeah, there were like 10 to go. I started searching the track, trying to find something better, and come find out I was in the best line, so I went back to it and started driving away again.
Well, I do appreciate you coming out. Now you got some sponsors you'd like to thank here. Get you Santan Ford Victory Lane.
Yeah, I got to thank AZ Motorsports, Mickelson Magic Racing Engines, my crew, Billy and Georgie, for helping me get here, my wife for putting this beautiful wrap on, all you fans for coming out here and cheering for us every weekend. Thanks a lot.
All right, y'all, that's the Franz. George Franzman picks up the first IMCA Stock Car main event here at Arizona Speedway. And John Parmley comes home in second here, letting George know that he would have had him had he not screwed up right there.
Yeah, you know, the car was really fast. I thought I had something for George. I got by him there late, and he got back by me on the bottom. I was trying, but the car got hot, so I slowed down, and then I saw 5 to go, and by that time he was already long gone. There was no catching him. So, you know, I got to congratulate George. I got to congratulate my brother for driving up the third and not wrecking me. I thought that was going to happen. But and all you fans for coming out here and supporting us. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you guys.
All right, John Parley comes home in second. George Frosman, your main event winners. We are getting ready for the Enduro.
everybody. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night.